Good morning and welcome to this midweek edition of your Breakfast on Leadership Television Inside Nigeria. My name is Winifred Gbebo, your host on the program. As normally do on the program, we like to review front headline stories of some select national newspapers, including Nigeria's most influential leadership. We would like to go with leadership. Let's see what leadership has in its menu this Wednesday, March 5, 2025. Yes, moving just inside the pit because we have a wraparound from First Bank of Nigeria, but we have another cover inside. We have NATASHA / AKPABIO SAGA, Northern Southern leaders in sentimental war. Allegation plots to remove Tinubu in 2027 pandemic. Only northern senators are being victimized. ACF, of course, is a sentimental war. This is a NATASHA and AKPABIO face-off that's degenerated to a sentimental war. Leading story today on Leadership newspaper. Allegation plots to remove Tinubu in 2027. Pandef alleges. Only northern senators are being victimized, says ACF. Still on Leadership, 16 burned to death in Ogun road crash. Trump's tariff on China, Mexico, Canada takes effect. The story runs on page 30 of Leadership. NAS positioning Nigeria for $1 trillion economy by 2030. Shamshideen Ogunjimi appointed Accountant General. And towards the masthead of Leadership, we have Enugu women protest, herdsmen attacks, block highway. The story runs on page 8 of Leadership. Enugu women protest, herdsmen attacks, block highway. And on the business bourse, we have Nigeria secures $50.8 billion investment to strengthen global trade. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, has disclosed Nigeria's success in securing over $50 billion in investment from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's international trips. Speaking at a ministerial press briefing yesterday in Abuja, Dr. Oduwole projected that these investments will generate a return of between $50 and $80 billion by 2030, contributing significantly up to 30% to the nation's GDP. These are paragraphs under the business boss leading story today on Leadership. Nigeria secures $50.8 billion investment to strengthen global trade. And atop the masthead, we have immigration CG Paradang found dead in Abuja hotel. The police was throwing light to the circumstances surrounding the death of the ex-immigration CG, while some section of news has it that he was kidnapped and killed. However, the police had to debunk that news story report by coming out with clarity on what actually happened as immigration CG Paradang found dead in Abuja hotel. Lastly, on the cover of Leadership, we have Reps ask multi-choice to reverse subscription hike. Reps ask multi-choice to reverse subscription hike. The story runs on page 7 of Leadership. With that, we move to Inside page, where we have, this time around is on page 4, our stand. Today's stand is on Ash Wednesday kicks in Lent. Of course, it's also a fasting period in the Christendom for on this Ash Wednesday as the Lent season takes up. Ash Wednesday kicks in Lent. The Christian world today begins a 40-day period of praying, fasting, almsgiving, and self-denial with Ash Wednesday. This religious exercise reminds mankind of its mortality through the ritual of placing ash on the forehead. Lent is a season in the Christian calendar when the faithful focus on simple living, praying, and fasting to grow in spirit and get closer to God. These are paragraphs on that today's stand. That is Ash Wednesday Kings A Lent. From our stand, we move to the back page where we have Wednesday column with Olufunke Barua. It's still on NATASHA and AKPABIO face off. She says when they go low, we go higher. When they go low, we go higher. And in quote, society and the media should stop infantilizing, shaming, and degrading women who speak up against entrenched misogyny. Quote from that Wednesday column with Olufunke Barua. When they go low, we go higher. Before we leave, we will not leave without a betting at Ghana Must Go. The minister says federal government to empower 480,000 core members in tech entertainment. And guess what? Ghana Must Go replies. Pay them 70,000 naira minimum wage first. Interesting. Well, for continuation of these stories that we review today and others, don't forget to log into the website of Leadership for continuation. www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, we move to the next paper on our menu, and that is THISDAY. THISDAY says we'll resist any forceful attempt to impeach Fubara. INC, IW, IYC won assembly. I'll take that again. We'll resist any forceful attempt to impeach Fubara. INC, IYC won assembly. Condemn Supreme Court verdict. Frank alleges ploy to doctor judgment. We've taken verdict in good faith, says AA. 2015 chairman threatened to occupy councils. Governor, our people will suffer no more loss. These are kickers to the leading story on THISDAY newspaper this Wednesday. Will resist any forceful attempt to impeach Fubara. INC, IYC won assembly. And atop that, we have Bauchi 2027. The Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Ali Pate, says, I'm ready to serve. I'm ready to serve. Already warming up for 2027 Bauchi Guba election. As the 2027 election cycle approaches, Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Ali Pate, has disclosed that he will be ready to serve the Bauchi people, but said he's currently preoccupied with delivering on the mandate given him by President Bola Tinubu. Speaking on TVC, the minister noted that there was the need for all members of the All Progressives Congress (APC) in the state to move in one direction if they plan to displace the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the state will come to fruition. These paragraphs from that headline story, actually second leading story on THISDAY newspaper this Wednesday, Bauchi 2027, sorry, I'm ready to serve, says Health Minister Ali Pate. Police, SNISCJ Paradang died in hotel room, not killed by kidnappers. The story is on page 25 of THISDAY, and it's also a story that is gracing the cover of all the papers we have on our menu today, because the police had to come out to shed light on the circumstances leading to the death of the SNISCJ. And like I said before, and above the masthead of THISDAY, we have over 3 trillion naira wiped off U.S. stocks as new tariffs wars with China, Canada, Mexico begin. Over $3 trillion wiped off U.S. stocks as new tariffs wars with China, Canada, Mexico begin. Commerce Secretary, Trump willing to shift ground if impacted countries do more. Zelensky says Ukraine ready to return to negotiating table, cause over office part regrettable. These are kickers to that leading story, and it's also with that, on that note, we conclude review of front headline stories on THISDAY newspaper. For continuation of these headline stories and inside stories, don't forget to log on to the website of THISDAY. Even as we move to the next paper we have on our menu this Wednesday, and that is Blueprint. Incidentally, these are the papers that do not have the wraparound from First Bank. So let's go with Blueprint and see the leading stories it has on its cover. He says Tinubu's trips attracted $50 billion foreign investments coming from the minister. Projects 30% ROI contribution to GDP by 2030. 2025 budget roadmap for economic resilience progress coming from Idris, Minister of